You have been known for pushing an anti-corruption crusade. Now, some will say, fine, you're very passionate about corruption, but we have the situation of UK-based businessman Paul Westwood, who used to be in Zimbabwe, who makes allegations that you used your position in Zanu PF and the chaotic indigenization laws at the time to seize these companies, Noshio Motors. Can we get your reaction to this? I mean, this has been rambling on for some years now. We've had Westwood on Nehanda TV to talk about this issue. Do you not have any motivation to resolve this issue, maybe for your legacy? It's something that hangs over your head all the time. Any incentive to resolve this matter?
Lance, I'm a principled person. I have a conscience at the end of the day. Westwood is not a UK businessman, first of all. Westwood was a 50% shareholder in Noshio Motors with a gentleman called Hamashkot Banda, who had 50%, was the managing director. He was the operations director. The wife was the financial director. There was a bank account, which 3 of them had to sign the signatories and so forth. Hamashkot Banda came and asked for a loan of $100,000 from me. I ran a tobacco company. He's somebody that I knew. I gave it to him, went to the lawyers and said, what form of collateral do you have? He gave me his share certificate, which I have, and so forth. He failed to pay. As a result, I took over the company. In taking over the company, there was $1,000+ in the company. There was no money. An audit was done, and it was discovered that Westwood was signing on his own to take that money, yet there are supposed to be 3 signatories. As a result, he had to be suspended. But Westwood was working with the then former Commissioner General of Police Chihuri and Commissioner Chibage in giving them certain percentages in terms of the cars that they brought as ZRP. So that disturbed their inflow. In disturbing their inflow, then he accused me of taking over a company in terms of the legislature. Lance, this is an issue that you've heard in, and I don't know if you've seen the thing documents. Where is it written in the company registrar that I took over the company? He's still a shareholder of that company. Hamashkot Band is still a shareholder of that company. He went to the police. I was arrested. He used his connections. I did not have any connections. I had no position in Zanu PF at the time. So how could I abuse my Zanu PF position?
No, but we had the incident where Didmas Mtasa, albeit of course his son was also arrested along with you. But there was a feeling Didmas Mtasa came to the police station with Teresa Makoni, who was co-Home Affairs Minister, I think at the time, trying to get you released. So, you did have some powerful friends, Temba.
No, you cannot go to the police station if you have to be released. You go to the Commissioner General of Police. Didmas Mtasa does not have to come to the police with the power he has, or the co-minister of Home Affairs. They can issue instructions. He came to see his son and me, and Minister Makoni at the time and Didmas were very close from the UK days. They were together. Okay, they were together in Birmingham. They're good family friends, and they came to do that. I mean, does a minister have to go to a police station to release anyone? All he has to do is to call the Commissioner General of Police and say, can this person be released, and so forth. But Didmas Mtasa is my uncle. He had his son in there. Doesn't he have a right to also see his son and his nephew who's incarcerated? Does my Makoni, who's an aunt to Martin Mtasa, has no right to also see one of her nephews who's also incarcerated? So people have rights. Because you're a minister and your son is arrested. And so
come on, Temba. Call Home Affairs Minister. Oenda police station na state security minister. That's kind of putting pressure.
No, but Sungwa, you're contradicting yourself. Didmas Mtasa's son Martin was there. That's his son. You are a minister of state security one day. Your son is arrested. Can't you go and visit him? Don't you have the right to visit him?
Okay, so what was Teresa Makoni doing?
Teresa is like an aunt to Martin because she looked after Martin in England. They come a long way from England. They come a long way. That's what I'm saying in terms of procedure.
Let's address why you were arrested then, because
I was arrested for taking over the company. Then we went to court. This is the most interesting part. I don't know why you guys have not respected the court decision. I was acquitted in court. He had the support of the police. Some PP even died over the matter. A public prosecutor died over the matter because he was being accused of supporting me. He died. Some magistrates were intimidated. The current judge, Neva Katillo, was intimidated. Black boots were going to them saying that you've got to incarcerate these guys. Thank God that justice prevailed. He was well connected more than me. He was giving percentages and commissions to Chihuri and Chibagi. They were chasing after that. And I got arrested more than any other time. Lance, this is one of the most difficult emotional aspects of my life, to be incarcerated when I've done nothing. Then these many charges came up. I was accused of stealing cattle. The thing white people that I bought cattle from were being told, go to court and say that Temba stole cattle. They'll be asked in court, why are you here? They say, we don't know. The cops told us to come here. Did Temba buy cattle from you? Yes, they bought cattle from me. To me, it was the most cruel, evil part of my life I ever went through because Temba, of Westwood. Then I don't want to talk about it. Westwood had a case of drug rehabilitation stamped in his passport that he needs to work on. He needs help. And to me, I wonder why people keep following Westwood after 20 years of the same matter. I wrote to the House of Commons, and I'll give you a copy of that. They wanted to find out. I responded to them through the British Embassy. Every documentation I showed them, they were quiet. So to me, like you say, their allegation is probably obsessed about me. Mentally, he's probably not well. I just pray that he gets well. He's been on for like 20 years.
All right,
he got Mchade Hama, the lawyer, to be involved. He got Job Scholar, the lawyer, to be involved. And they decided not to handle the matter because there's no merit in the matter. He always accuses me. If I was so evil, why does God keep blessing me at the end of the day? I still win elections. There is nothing that I've seen which is sinister in my life. The God we pray is a true God. So if I was ever evil to him, he's the one who's been evil to me, just that I don't revenge it. And I could sue him left, right, and center. Tomorrow I can get lawyers in Britain to sue him. He hasn't got the money to
let me pick up two things, Temba. You make allegations that he's a drug addict, something he strenuously denies, and he says he had an operation and was given medication for that operation. But you are talking about something being stamped on his passport that he had rehabilitation. It's the first time I'm hearing what gets stamped on your passport.
Oh, it is. You don't know that there is a stamp. In fact, my lawyer, Charles Chinyama at the time, is the one who went through the passport. And when he went through the passport, he saw it.
Okay. What's stamped on it?
I don't know. He saw it, but he did. But he was asked questions in court. If you go to the court transcript, it's there. The court has got records.
Okay. Westwood has kept this campaign for years, Temba. So it's quite hard to believe Kuti is someone who's just barking off a tree without a legitimate point to make. What happened to the company though? Because you muscled in based on a...
That is a good question you're asking. Why don't you go to the register of companies? Because if you talk about seizing a company, the ownership changes. I'll show you the agreement.
But isn't that why you were arrested? That you tried to change the share structure of the company?
How do I change the shares? Even the 50% shares I have, I've not even changed them. Which I have as collateral from Hamas Code Banda. I've not even changed them.
Okay.
Now I'm telling you what I have. Okay, which is entitled to me. I've not even, because that company was then liquidated, the old money. I pumped in $70,000 US. I bought 100 new tires in there. The workers were not paid and so on. The problem that I have, Lance, which I must clear, there is a belief amongst black people that when whites speak, they are correct. There are some whites who are poor. There are some whites who are criminal. We must understand that. And this is what I've not liked about this issue. When Westwood speaks, people think he's genuine. Going into Westwood. Westwood has got marital problems with his ex-wife, where he has failed to look after his children in America. Okay, but people have not looked into that. He has failed to look after his children in America. Why don't you ask him that? So to me, there is this whole conception: whites are rich, whites are the ones that we take from. Westwood has nothing. He had no house in Harare. He tried to be pastor and so forth. Let him show you any title deed that he has in Harare. He is on the dole in England. He's trying to seek sympathy. He's a people who plays with people's minds, but his story has not been bought. So let me correct this. It's not when a white man speaks, it does not mean he's correct. There are white people too who are also con artists. And there is one con artist that you have. He sells a good story. And because you think, Temba, I've not flaunted my wealth to anybody. He has a right to go to the police. I'm not friends with many police officers, even Commissioner General. So you have a case, why doesn't take it to him? So are you telling me I'm well connected to a point that I cannot be arrested? I was arrested for frivolous COVID charges. What about Mosa Chai?
Okay.
We are not poor. When I was to that, at the end of the day.
Okay, let me move to another issue. We'll probably have Westwood on to respond to some of the allegations you've made. Your relationship with Chihuri intrigues me. What went wrong there? You seem to have a lot of fights na Chihuri.
Chihuri was corrupt. He then was working with Westwood. I told you that Westwood was giving them a percentage because ZRP were buying cars from Noshio Motors. Their boobas were being done by Noshio Motors. So when I then got the 50%, they then went and reported to his masters that deal will not happen because there's now another black partner who has come in and so forth. So they then got me arrested. They're the ones who got me arrested. Chihuri said sorry to me after a while, so that I let you know. He even said to me it was Chibage who was doing it, not him. When I was the provincial chairman, he invited me to his office, says, I would like to apologize that during these arrests, it was not me. It was Chibage who was his chief of staff, because he then told me he fired Chibage for many other reasons too. So the truth came out at the end of the day. So to me, the truth always comes out. The Commissioner General apologized to me, says, I'm sorry, it was not me. It was Chibage, who was his chief of staff, abusing office, working with Westwood and so forth. I forgave him. I went to the president then, the late Jim Gabe, and said, look at all these issues. I've been arrested. I've been acquitted. I want to go and sue. And the president, late President Jim Gabe, looked at me and said, you are a leader. You continue to be a leader. Learn to forgive. I now know. That's when the former late president then gave an instruction that there will be no member of parliament who would be arrested without him knowing.